if you guys had sex and it was just bad sex, sis, it was just bad sex.
Yeah.
He didn't rape you because you didn't like the sex.
Yeah.
If you were actively uncomfortable, if something he was doing was painful, if at any point you felt uncomfortable with him being your sexual partner and you wanted to stop and you told him to stop and he didn't, or your body language showed and he didn't stop, then
What's cooking, good looking? Welcome back to my channel. I am Varaidzo and this is I am Varaidzo. Today I am joined by my editor-in-chief, my cousin, yeah, that's about it. So yeah, introduce yourself. You want to say something?
Hi guys, my name is Varaidzo, but y'all can call me V because I know my name is a mouthful at first. I am a graphic design student taking a year off in 2021. I'm her video editor. I also
She's putting out a whole CV, blah 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 blah.
Yes, I'm a freelance designer. Hit me up if you want that video looking good.
Yeah.
If you want, if you want a logo.
Yeah, hit her up. And yeah, today we decided to make a video. There's actually going to be quite a few videos of us two together. So it's gonna be like Saru and V or
a series.
Yeah, it's
gonna be cute.
Yeah, and like today we decided to speak about giving consent.
Yeah.
So before we start, we're gonna give you guys like a Google definition of what is consent, and we'll go from there.
So, according to the UP University of Pretoria's website, consent doesn't have to be verbal, but it has to be like but it can be verbally agreeing to like different sexual activities, right? And then another definition I got was from this website called RAIN with a double N, and it basically says consent is an agreement between participants to engage in a sexual activity. Consent should be freely and clearly communicated, and a verbal and an affirmative expression of consent can help both partners understand and respect each other's boundaries.
We are going to be looking at consent, I guess, within the sex conversation.
Yeah.
Because consent can mean, okay, yeah, it can be like, when you're in school, and then they'll give you those forms for your parents to give consent for you to go on the school trip or whatever. But now we're going to be talking specifically about sexual activities, terms of rape, a kiss that's not wanted, basically sexual harassment. And like, yeah, where do we start?
We can talk about our experiences. So have you
I
ever
don't have one.
you've never had like a unwanted hug from a member of the male species?
Not that I can think of.
Like for me, and if any of the people who are involved in this, like, don't feel bad. I think we're all very young and we all didn't understand like boundaries. But when I was really young, I went to this youth group, right? And I had lots of guy friends because I ended up getting involved like within the youth dynamic, like planning it, and that was mostly guys who were my age or younger or a bit older, right? So we were part of the activities group. And we got very close, and these guys would hug me for like very long. And at first, I didn't really think about it, but now that I think back, that was freaking weird. Especially a few of the guys, it's like they were trying to see what they could get away with. You know what I mean?
But they what about their personalities?
Their personalities.
Because
I'm putting people on blast.
Yeah, but you can look at it as he's trying to get away with something, or he's trying to see what he can get away. But what if his personality is genuinely let me hug you for 2 minutes?
If I'm thinking about this one guy, he did have a thing from like going from girl to girl to girl. So like his personality was already F-boyish, even though he was Christian. Christian F-boys are real, but that's another video. He just had this thing. Even with his female, he often dated his friends, like the female friends he had. Like this specific guy, he would hug you and then like come out of the hug like y'all are together, y'all are blasted. Like, yeah, stuff like that. And even guys who do this, My cousin told me a few years ago that if a guy does this with you, it's because like it's proximity to your chest area. Stuff like that, right? That has been experiences where I felt uncomfortable. It's gotten to a point for me where like even my female friends hanging me from the back
It's a no.
is a no for me. Like it feels uncomfortable. It feels unsafe. I don't know.
But another thing is with that, you can't really ask for consent if you're a guy and you're watching this.
But you can.
No, just
even
don't
like,
do
can
it.
I hug you?
Yeah, can I hug you? But in terms of the arm thing, just don't do it. Like certain things, just don't do unless be close like that.
That's the relationship. Unless like we're vibing or something.
Not even if we're vibing. If we're vibing, then you're gonna ask, can I put my arm around you? Don't just assume. Speak. Let me know so I can know.
I think especially when it comes to consent, like getting express consent, like have you heard about this thing that says enthusiastic consent? Like it's like when you're in a sexual activity, your partner can't just say, yeah, kind of, like they have to be like, yeah, let's like do this. Otherwise it is pretty much rape. Like I'm sorry for throwing out the R word so early in the video, but like
no, it's fine. And I feel like I said rape before. And we should normalize these conversations, guys. Like let's talk about
so like let's talk about what is rape. What is it?
It's like committing a sexual activity with somebody without consent.
Yeah. So like even if it's your girlfriend, even if it's your wife, my dude, you can rape your wife.
Yeah.
You can rape your husband.
Yes, but when was it? I think in high school I actually did. We orals where you go up and speak in front of the class. So okay. So I actually did a presentation on males that get raped. And that was like in grade 10, I think. And I forgot all about it. But there are guys who actually go through what we go through, but not. It is what we go through, but they're not as many as us. So we shouldn't overshadow or just be like, okay, we should be like females, but like.
Yeah, because realistically, in the world we live in, men, like feminists, I'm also a feminist, so don't get feelings about this, but in general, talking generally, men generally have the physical advantage.
Yeah.
So it's much easier for them to take advantage, but in the same breath, it's much easier for them to be taken advantage of as well. Because you're a man, right? Men can't get raped.
Yeah.
You know? That kind of thinking and that kind of behavior encourages like harmful behavior against men. I know personally of a few guys who like have had questionable experiences with females, but are reluctant to like
speak about it and call it out as it is.
Or like they talk about it with their boys. Like I have a person I know whose first girlfriend, when he was 13, 14, his first girlfriend was 18. That already is shady. Why are you a full grown adult trying to date a 14-year-old?
True, but I'm 18, but I can't say I'm an adult.
No, but you are.
But I can't say...
If like, you were stepping up to a 14-year-old, I'd look at you like, Miss Man.
No, but have you seen American 14-year-olds?
So what? That's still a child.
It is a child, but why am I even defending this person?
That was a predator. Yeah. Let's call a spade a spade. If you're 18 years old of age, you can vote, my guy. You can drink in most countries. And you're going for a 14-year-old. Yeah. Whether you're male or female, that is shady as F. I don't care if you've known this person all your life. I don't care, right? That's shady. Why can't y'all be friends?
And you know, one thing that I noticed this at school actually, that a lot of, when I was still younger, the seniors would go for the juniors. Like you'll see a grade 12 person or a grade 11 person the new grade 8. So at our school, we would like the grade 8s would come into the hall before COVID and everything. We're clapping for them. But we're looking, we're checking you out, and we're like, that looks like a nerd. Oh, Sheila, then. But then and then it's Valentine's, and you'll see seniors going for juniors.
And that's messed up.
But it was like a normal thing.
Yeah. That a video I want to do with you is how we infantilize beauty. Meaning, why is it that a woman has to look young to be beautiful? And why is it okay, like generally, for that kind of thing to happen in schools? That's
and also they'll be like, I don't want to say this, but there'll be teachers who'll be speaking with other students and be like, oh, so he's dating this person, like it's not anything,
like it's not her problem.
Yeah, so like in society, dating somebody younger, grade 12 and grade 8, it's normal, or it's made to be normal.
Bring your hand.
Shush.
I said your hand the other.
And it's made to be normal, so yeah, I don't know what else to say.
So I'm gonna give you guys like a thorough example of like what happens when the extreme bad of it. So I know this person who dated a guy from grade 8 and he was in matric. This guy managed to convince her to do a whole lot of sexual stuff that she was in no way prepared for. And he was older, so she trusted that he wouldn't like harm her. But at the end of the day, when you're that young, literally before the age, did you know that until you're 25, your brain isn't fully developed? So what more when you're 14, guys? What more when you're that young? And say for argument's sake, you come from a big family, so your parents don't always give all of you guys the same attention. So now this older person comes into your life and they're giving you all this positive attention. You will date them, and you will close your eyes to the problematic things they do or say because they're the only person who cares about you, right?
Finish the story. I'm waiting for you to say what happened with the...
So, yeah, they had, with the person I know, he had his first experience, like sexual experience.
No, I meant with the girl that was 14 in the matric guy.
He basically raped her, like, repeatedly, but she didn't clock it as rape until she was out of the relationship. Almost an adult, then she's like, oh.
That's happened.
And, like, in the worst case scenarios, you start to have a negative attitude or like a negative view of sex and consent, and then you could even be the predator at some point in the future. Like, guys,
it's that will only happen if you don't realize that.
And even if you do realize, that can still happen. Low key, because even though you're aware that it's bad, you don't clock that you're doing something bad until after.
My mother's phone is ringing now. Is it?
It's fine.
It's fine. So, like...
I said it.
We're not cutting this out of the video.
Lie. God, look up here.
Yeah, no, we're not cutting this out of the video.
Chill.
This is someone's son. If you know yourself, come get your child. If you're watching this.
You're lying.
Okay, shush now. Anyway, continue. Oh, guys, we're talking about consent in front of a... But how old are you?
3.
In front of a 3-year-old. Start young.
Yeah.
Start young.
I see the videos and it's falling.
What's falling?
It's there.
Okay, it's fine.
Why?
Yeah, but start young.
Start young.
Like last night, she was saying that she doesn't want to raise a child. You want to raise an adult. That's what she told me. It's made to people why.
So I feel like in general, like on a societal level, people make this mistake of raising children. So you have a child and then you coddle them, or you baby them
for the rest of their lives.
Or the opposite, you give them too much freedom, forgetting that this child...
Tell me I'm a baby.
Shh.
Yeah.
Forgetting that this child is gonna grow up and be an adult, and if you are not raising an adult, if you're not raising a functional human being, they're gonna become an adult that can't even make their own decisions.
Yeah.
That at 18 need to call mom every 2 seconds. Like that's a problem.
I know of someone like that, but I won't.
You
Because
won't say
I'm too close to the person, but I feel like that person is like that. They can't tell their parents no. Like the parents will allow them to do, like, let's say normal things, but it's still under the thing of you're under my roof. But it's not like a strict you're under my roof. It's that I feel like that person won't go out of their way to not do what the parents said they must do. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people. There's this one person I went to school with who her mom was being very problematic, and I was like, listen, she was South African, so for you South Africans, there's a lot of like scholarships that are available to you both here and like overseas, but especially to go overseas. I found a scholarship for her. I was ready to help her through the application process. But when I was like, sis, you can go overseas, you can do this, that, and the other, she couldn't do it. Because she needed her mom's approval so much. Grown adult. She needed her mom's approval so much she couldn't make a decision.
Yeah.
Raise adults. And when it comes to consent, start young, y'all. Because if you don't teach your child the boundaries that they will need to know later in life, they'll let people do this, that, and the other to them.
Yeah.
They'll let people...
Or they will be the ones doing this and the other to other people. So, like...
So, I know a person who was sexually assaulted when they were a child, right? And I know a lot of people, so if one of those people is watching this, please, I'm not talking about you in specific. But...
Well, if it happened to you and the shoe fits... Hey, but we didn't say your name.
Yeah, this person was sexually assaulted as a child. They told their parents. The parents didn't believe them.
That's
and that has messed up their relationship towards opposite sex to this day.
Yeah.
Teach your children consent and believe your children.
Yeah.
Especially if you know up to that point you've been raising a fairly good young person. Lead them. Even if you haven't, believe that child. Believe them, because it's very seldom that a child will make something like this up.
Yeah.
And even if the assault didn't happen as the child said it did, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Even if it might not have been penetrative sex, the child felt uncomfortable, the child felt unsafe. Do something about it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, be okay with the consequences of that, because trauma sticks.
Hey, we're onto this topic. How long is this video gonna be?
Trauma doesn't go away. We'll do a video on trauma. This is not that video. This video is on consent. But seriously, teach your children consent.
But here's the thing. I don't think my audience at the moment are people with kids.
Teach your siblings consent.
Yeah.
If you know that your parents aren't the kind to give your siblings, your cousins, whoever, sex ed, if you have a young person in your life, talk to them about
not
consent.
even just a young person, a person in general.
If you have people in your life who are sexually active or who want to be sexually active or who you know will
give
be
them that
sexually,
conversation.
talk to them about consent. Dudes, I was a youth leader in 2019 and I don't remember how we got to this conversation, but I was talking to some of the youth boys about consent, and they didn't understand. They hadn't known it was brand new information to them up to that point, that at every single step when you're with a partner, you have to check for consent.
Yeah.
Even if this is explicit language now, even if your dick is about to go into a vagina,
is it okay?
Consent.
Yeah.
Check in with your partner. Even if you're in the middle of sex and they expressing discomfort on their face or they verbally say, like, read the person's body.
It's a few people that will do that. Because I feel like in those moments people will be selfish. It's about their
be okay
pleasure.
with knowing you're a rapist then.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade.
But those people won't know they are rapists because we haven't. I feel like more people need to speak about this as you will be a rapist if she looks uncomfortable and you continue. Because even if she looks uncomfortable, maybe a guy would just be like, oh, she just wasn't feeling it. If we normalize calling those people rapists, then I feel like it will be, they'll take more initiative into asking, or more, they'll actively, like
Inquire.
yes, because now it's nothing. Yeah.
My dudes, my ladies, if you're listening to this and you had an experience where because where you knew your partner was uncomfortable with the act and you still went through with it, you raped that person. You sexually assaulted them.
Yeah.
Facts are facts.
Yeah, I don't know if I have more to say.
There's nothing more.
I don't have anything else to say, other than check
in.
if you got consent.
And if you didn't, apologize. Goddamn. Apologize. Only if they're open to it. If they're not, just don't do it again.
Don't forget to ask for consent regularly.
Incessantly. Repeatedly.
Over and over. And share this video. Or even if you're not going to share this video, speak to other people about it. Start the conversation.
Start the conversation about consent.
Yeah, and if you saw that person was uncomfortable, or you and your girls are having a conversation, I feel like, I don't know if women really talk about their sexual experiences. But if your friend is like, oh, I had this thing with this guy and I really wasn't feeling it, be like, that was sexual assault. But is there a difference what if, let's say I'm having a conversation with your girl and you're like, his performance level was just low. Do we still call that rape?
On her part or on his part?
I don't know, both or whatever.
I think that we have to examine why his performance was low. Did he really want to have sex to begin with?
Are you raping him?
Are you raping him? That's
a question.
That's a question. But if his performance was
does
low,
he need to go to men's clinic?
Yeah.
You know those adverts?
If you guys had sex and it was just bad sex, it was just bad sex.
Yeah.
He didn't rape you because you didn't like the sex.
Yeah.
If you were actively uncomfortable, if something he was doing was painful, if at any point you felt uncomfortable with him being your sexual partner and you wanted to stop and you told him to stop and he didn't, or your body language showed and he didn't stop, then it was rape.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Before we wrap up, sexual assault, what is it?
I don't know.
Know.
I learned in business, guys. I did business in high school. So this quid pro. I'm trying to speak in fancy and whatever. It's not
quid
working.
pro quo.
That words, verbal sexual harassment, physical, and there's another one.
I don't know that one.
It's verbal, physical, quid pro, né?
Non-verbal.
Yes. So I think that's the full sexual assault, whatever. Do we need to go into them?
Let's talk about the kind of sexual assault you get as a female in Africa.
Non-verbal, verbal.
Examples, my sis. When you're walking through a taxi rank.
Not even when you walk into a taxi rank.
Minding your business.
It's not just walking to a taxi rank. It's walking anywhere.
Minding your business. Not bothering nobody. And this one guy takes it upon himself.
Sweetie, can I have your number?
And you say no, and this nigga is
or you continue walking. You can't. And non-verbal is also the looks you get.
Yeah.
I'm like right now, I can't say I am like showing much or anything, but I'll be wearing like a top that covers everything, a jean, tackies and whatever, walking. Not even a whistle, just a look that will get my attention, and then it will be.
You know what's the worst sound ever?
Baby.
Yo! I hate that. I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I've been hearing it since I came to South Africa. South African men, Stop.
It's probably not just South African men.
Yo, but
We don't know what kind of guys are in Zim.
there is men. Just because she's existing and you're attracted to her doesn't mean you need to put it in her face.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't talk to women, but like, suss the vibes. You have, hopefully, common sense.
Yeah. And
Right?
don't be selfish.
Don't be selfish.
Don't think about yourself only, because whatever you do to that person will stay with them for a long time or even a lifetime. So even though it will be like it's just me in this world, it will always be me on my own. At the same time, don't try and make another person's life
difficult.
change because of what you did, or if that makes sense. Don't do that. It's not humane.
Stop. Let's be frank. Stop ruining people's lives.
Yeah. And if you didn't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Once
You no excuse.
Yeah, once again, I'll say start the conversation, please, with whoever you are with on WhatsApp. Be like, oh, hey guys, do you know what is giving consent? In a group chat. Let's talk about consent.
Youth pastors,
Talk about it.
talk about consent. I don't understand why churches don't talk about race and they don't talk about sex.
Yeah, I feel like most religions won't talk about these things.
Talk about it because it's happening.
Yeah. And the world is changing so much.
It's actually not changing. It's always been like this. But
It's coming
talk
to
about
light
it.
now.
It's coming to light now. Whether you're LGBTQ
Or not.
or not, rape happens, sexual assault happens, sexual harassment happens, and consent must always be given before you act.
Yeah.
Let's stop now, or else we'll go forever.
Yeah. Anyway, guys. Oh, we said we were gonna wrap this video up a couple of minutes ago, but anyway, now we are really wrapping it up. We've said what we wanted to say. Hope you heard us loud and clear. Ask for consent. Proceed.
Check in.
Proceed if it's given.
Proceed with caution. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, proceed with caution. Yeah.
Pretend like sex is like a red light every
And
2
there's
seconds.
barriers,
And
yeah.
there's barriers. Read your partner.
Yeah.
Check in with your partner. Even in the middle of sex, check in with your partner. Seriously. Because you will legitimately ruin a person's life.
Yeah.
You will change their life in the worst
And don't
ways.
date 14-year-olds.
Please, Lord. I beg. I beg.
Don't,
Stay away from these children. Let them
Yeah.
grow up.
Yeah.
Let them grow up without trauma, please.
Yeah. And like, yeah, that's all we have to say. Start the conversation. Don't date 14-year-olds. Ask for consent. Speak to somebody about it if you have been raped or if you have been made to feel uncomfortable. And yeah, that's it from us. We'll be back with another one soon. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, like, I'm going to say this again. Start the conversation. I hope this made you start a conversation.
Even if you didn't enjoy this video, you can still share it and you can still start a conversation with someone about it.
Or if there's even somebody that you're getting that vibe from them that something
Is
close
wrong.
to this has happened to them, share it with them so they can have the encouragement, or we could give them that encouragement to speak about it.
That validation that,
you are
shit,
not wrong.
That really happened.
Yeah, it happened, and there's something you can do about it. And that's that. So this was giving consent. Giving consent, and I am Varaidzo, and you